Good morning, Sasha, Braden, and anyone else who happens to be watching. So I had a little bit of time while I'm waiting for Sasha to get out of ROTC, so I thought I would talk a little bit about a quiet time that I just had. In 2 Samuel chapter 11, it's a fairly well-known chapter because it deals with David and Bathsheba. And so right away, the very first verse, you get that at the time when kings go off to war, David remained in Israel. So a couple of ingredients of sin right there. Wrong place, wrong time. David's not where he should be. Prior to this, there had been a lot of peace and lots of success, and we're going to sort of see as we go kind of the second and third order effects of this. So third ingredient, there's temptation, right? He sees Bathsheba. And then as he calls her to him, kind of the fourth ingredient is a lack of accountability. There's no one there that says, whoa, hold on, what are you doing? As Nathan will eventually do when he confronts David about his sin. So once that happens, and there's obviously consequences, Bathsheba is pregnant, so then begins the cover-up. And David tries to get her husband to come off the battlefield and to go home, and he refuses. So he is clearly a man of high integrity. He doesn't feel like it's right for him to enjoy the comfort and pleasures of being at home when his troops are out on the battlefield. And because of that, literally his integrity costs him his life, because then David will move from trying to trick him into trying to kill him, which he actually succeeds in doing. And at the very end of the chapter, verse 27, it says, "But the thing that David did displeased the Lord." And I think this is the first time that we really see David doing something that God is really not pleased with. Before then, David has been incredibly humble. A couple chapters ago, David has some peace and he looks around and he's really zealous for God and for God's glory and says, how am I to sit in this great palace that God has blessed me with? Or and yet God is living in a tent. And because of that, you've really seen that David has really, been a man after God's own heart, and God seems to be very pleased with him. And now God seems to be very not pleased with him, obviously, for what he's done. And I think a couple of things to think about. I just think that David really used the position, the authority, the power that he had been given by God. He didn't deserve any of it. He was the son of a shepherd. It wasn't like it was, his birthright to rule or anything, but he was chosen by God. And up until this point, he really seemed to be very humble, accepting of it, understanding that he was king of Israel for the Israelites' sake, not for his sake. And yet here there is a bit of a shift. And the shift is that David, for whatever reason, saw that the power just gave him the ability to get what he wanted. In which case, that very selfish motive that we all sometimes have, because of that, you're going to see that I really think this is kind of the high watermark of David's kingship. Because after this, a bunch of things, just natural consequences. Number one, people are going to know about this. People are probably lost some respect for him, maybe lost some authority. He's going to get challenged by his own sons. And so I think that what you see if you continue on through 2 Samuel is really just, again, this is the high water mark. And while David is restored and we see Jesus through the line of David, absolutely, but yet David's natural life is just never quite the same. He always seems to kind of be in turmoil. And a lot of it can be directly linked back to this particular incident and because of his sin. So, sin has consequences. When you're given authority, when you're given power, you should be very careful how you use it. You should always use it in the manner of being a servant and trying to serve others rather than trying to enrich yourselves. Anyway, that was my quiet time for today, and just hope you guys enjoyed that. We'll talk to you later. Love you. Bye.